Have you ever witnessed an 18-wheeler in an accident with a four-wheeler? Let me tell you, it's a sight that'll shake you to your core. I've seen it unfold, the chaos, the fear, the aftermath. It's not just metal and rubber colliding, it's lives being upended. The gravity of such an event, it's not something you can just shake off. It leaves a mark, a reminder of how quickly things can go wrong on the road. Such a sight is not one you'll forget easily, I promise you that. Now, I have some folks in my family who drive these big old semi-trucks, and boy do they have some complaints. My brother Daryl, for instance, has been driving semis for over 20 years now, and he often tells me about the mistakes he sees smaller vehicles make on the road. Then there's Daryl's wife, my sister-in-law Tara. She's been behind the wheel of a semi for a good 15 years, and she can't help but shake her head at some of the risky moves four-wheelers pull around her rig. It's not just about frustration, though. It's more about safety. See, these family members of mine, they're not just truck drivers. They're people with families waiting for them at home. They want to get home safe, just like everyone else on the road. They just wish that all drivers knew a thing or two more about sharing the road with these big rigs. One of the biggest gripes my truck driving kin have is about blind spots. Now you might be wondering, what exactly is a blind spot? Well, these are areas around a vehicle that the driver can't see directly while at the helm. For your regular four-wheeler, these blind spots are generally on either side, just behind the driver and passenger windows. But for an 18-wheeler, it's a whole different ballgame. The blind spots on a truck, or no zones as some folks call them, are much larger due to the size and shape of the vehicle. There are four main areas, directly in front, directly behind, and on either side of the truck. The side blind spots extend all the way from the driver's door to the back of the trailer, and can even cover up to 3 lanes of traffic. Now imagine being at the wheel of such a giant, unable to see vehicles that are too close. That's a recipe for disaster, my friends. These blind spots can hide not just one, but several vehicles, making maneuvers like changing lanes or turning particularly hazardous. It's like driving with a blindfold on. Terrifying, isn't it? But it's not just the truckers who need to be cautious. As drivers or passengers in smaller vehicles, we need to be aware of these blind spots too. We must keep a safe distance and avoid lingering in these no zones. If we're not visible to the truck driver, we're at a higher risk of becoming involved in a serious accident. So here's a simple rule of thumb to keep in mind. If you're driving near a truck and can't see the driver's face in their side mirror, they can't see you either. It's as straightforward as that. Be aware, stay visible, and keep a safe distance. It might just save your life and the lives of others on the road. Remember, if you can't see the driver in the truck's mirror, they can't see you either. Another thing my family often talks about is how weather and road conditions affect trucks differently than cars. Trucks are far larger and heavier than your typical four-wheeler, and this changes how they interact with the environment around them. When it comes to weather conditions, rain, snow, and fog can all affect a truck's maneuverability. Rain can make the roads slick, and when you're dealing with a vehicle that weighs upwards of 80,000 pounds, that can make stopping a real challenge. Snow and ice, on the other hand, can make it difficult for trucks to get the traction they need to move effectively. And fog? Well, it reduces visibility, and when you're at the helm of a big rig, you need all the visibility you can get. Road conditions also play a significant role. Potholes, for instance, can be more than just a nuisance for truck drivers. They can cause a truck to lose control, especially if the driver is trying to avoid them and makes a sudden maneuver. And let's not forget about construction zones. These areas often have narrow lanes and unexpected changes in the road surface, making them particularly challenging for large vehicles to navigate. Now you might be wondering why I'm telling you all this. The truth is, understanding these challenges can help us all share the road more safely. If you see a truck slowing down in bad weather, don't get frustrated. Instead, realize that the driver is likely doing so to maintain control of their vehicle. And if you encounter a truck navigating a pothole-ridden road or a construction zone, give them some extra space. They might need to make sudden maneuvers, and having a buffer can prevent accidents. So next time you see a truck slowing down in bad weather or rough road conditions, understand it's for the safety of everyone. We all want to get where we're going safely, and being patient and considerate on the road is a big part of that. Did you know that a fully loaded truck can take the length of a football field to come to a complete stop? That's right, we're talking about 300 yards or 300 feet, depending on how you're counting. That's a considerable distance. Now, let's delve into the concept of truck stopping distances. It's a term that might sound technical, but it's quite simple. It refers to the total distance a truck travels, from the moment the driver applies the brakes to the instant the truck comes to a complete halt. Why is it important for you to know? Well, it's because this distance is significantly longer for a truck than it is for a car. A car, depending on its speed and the condition of the road, can usually stop in less than half the distance it takes for a truck. Now that's a big difference, isn't it? So what causes this disparity? It's all about weight and momentum. A fully loaded truck can weigh up to 80,000 pounds. That's about the same as 20 cars. Imagine the momentum that much weight generates when it's moving down the highway. It's like a freight train on rubber tires. And all that momentum means it takes a lot longer to bring the truck to a stop. It's also essential to consider the condition of the brakes. Truck brakes are designed to handle enormous loads, but they can heat up under constant use. If a truck is going down a long, steep hill, for instance, the brakes can get so hot they start to lose effectiveness, further increasing the stopping distance. What does this all mean for you? It means you need to give trucks plenty of space on the road. If you're following a truck, don't tailgate. If you're in front of a truck, don't cut in too close. Remember, that truck can't stop on a dime. So give these trucks some room. They need it to stop safely. Last but not least, let's talk about passing and merging. Now, honey, this ain't like slipping past your Aunt Edna at the family reunion to get to the dessert table. Passing and merging around big rigs requires a whole different level of care and attention. When you're passing a truck, always do it on the left side. That's the side with the best visibility for the truck driver. And don't dawdle. Pass with purpose, but without excessive speed. Once you're passed, don't cut in too quickly. Wait until you can see the whole front of the truck in your rearview mirror before you move back into your lane. Remember, trucks have a much longer stopping distance, and cutting in too close could spell disaster. Now, when it comes to merging, it's all about timing and space. Trucks need a lot of both. If you see a truck signaling to merge, back off a bit and let them in. They can't accelerate or slow down as quickly as you can in your car, so give them the room they need. And when you're merging onto a freeway, don't assume a truck can move over to let you in. There might be another vehicle in their blind spot, so it's your job to adjust your speed and find a safe gap. Remember, trucks can't move as easily as cars, so give them space and be patient. So, you see, it's not just about getting from point A to B. It's about understanding the challenges our fellow travelers on the road face. Those big rigs you see, they have blind spots much larger than your average four-wheeler. So always remember, if you can't see their mirrors, they can't see you. Weather and road conditions, they impact those 18-wheelers differently. A little rain or snow can make their journey a lot trickier. And let's not forget about their stopping distances. They can't stop on a dime like we can. Passing and merging, it's not as simple as it seems. They need more space and time, so let's give them that. It's all about patience and understanding. Let's put ourselves in their shoes and be more considerate on the road. Let's share the road safely. After all, like you, truckers also want to return home safely to their families.